Hello viewers, thanks for watching ShriLearning. We have good amount of success stories coming up. One other success story from Saigeetha from US. It looked like some president office, but by the way, it's her home. Saigeetha cleared PMP on December 8th after a big cyclonic thing, a lot of things around her, whether can I go it or not. But actually she did a lot of good scores in her practice exams. So we're going to listen to her, how she was able to score well and how she prepared. Before that, great congratulations, Saigeetha, for the achievement.
Thank you very much, Sriram. All credit to you.
She's so humble person. So we'll go to the certificate to look at her. The certificate, here it goes. So she cleared on December 8th. Saigeetha, what was your expression or emotion when you saw congratulations, you cleared?
I not looked, I should say I was staring at the screen for straight 5 minutes, Sriram. I was like, reading, rereading, rereading. Yeah, so literally staring at it for 5 minutes.
I understand. That's, yeah.
Do this after seeing the congratulations.
That's interesting because the effort what we put in this, when we see that congratulations, that joy is, I don't know, you don't have words to say that. Okay, let's understand a little bit about you, what you do, and what made you to come to PMP.
So Sriram, I have been working with the state of California. So I've been in the US for almost 10 years now, for the first 5 years with Wells Fargo, and the remaining 5 years with the state of California with different departments within the state. So not as a direct employee, but through a vendor. So this is how it's been. And I'm on the quality side. I've been a quality manager, and in the current position, I sit next to a project manager. So the one fine day, I was like talking to her. I was asking like, I also can manage projects, and I would like to really be a project manager. And she was like, the first question she asked, "Are you a PMP certified person?" Well, that was the end of conversation. So at that point, I made it a point. I was like, sometime I should really get PMP certified. And the commute for me was taking quite a long time, like 3+ hours in daily commute. But I should really thank COVID, at least for this, that it saved the travel. And that was a primary motivation to get the PMP done.
That's quite interesting. First thing is, I'm happy to know that at least you're aware of PMP by the time itself. It's not something like only after the interview came to know. I think at least before that you were aware of it, but you didn't found a time for yourself to read, right? Okay,
That's true.
great. Being a person with a family and having office life, how do you plan to go for this? Because there are many people want to do, but keep on postponing. Maybe 2021, then they'll say 22, then they'll say 23, and let my daughter become to this grade. My son will go to this grade. They'll keep on waiting. So how do you decide this is, I know you said it's a COVID is one reason, but beyond that, are you able to plan your time? Wake up this time in the morning, read this time, something like this you are able to do?
So I have been doing some certification or the other, Sriram. The last certification that I did was for SAFE. I'm a SAFE certified Scrum Master, but I have been doing like CSM, ITIL. I have done CSQA, which is again like a 4 hours drill, but nothing compared to PMP. PMP is I would say, a different league by itself. So this year, like beginning of 2021, I was like thinking I should do something on my professional front. And then this thought came, okay, I'll go in for PMP. I was just looking around and I found a person here in the US. So I signed up for the course somewhere in March. So March, I signed up and we had this 35 contact hours. I was done with that. And that was pretty much it. I was on my own. Um, I will just take my book, and I was using Kim Hellman for my preparation. So first I will open my book. I really do not know. The moment I start reading, from where this yawning will start. one, one line, two line. By the time I finish 1 to 2 paragraph, I'm like half sleeping. And with the book, either I'll be sleeping with the book and after some time sleeping on the book. So my husband has multiple videos and pictures of me sleeping with the book. So
I like that. Okay.
I just lost the motivation because I'm pretty much on my own. I really do not know where to start. Then at one point, PMP went to cold storage. And PMP, oh no, it is above and beyond me kinds. Then I was like casually browsing some YouTube videos. Then I saw your YouTube. Oh yeah, this one seems nice. And that was a Friday revision session. So and that was supposed to be a live session, but I saw the recorded version. And I went through the entire session. Then I had questions. So I had typed my question in the comment for that YouTube video. And the next day, with all enthusiasm, I was saying, was there any reply to my comment? Obviously, no comment. I checked the very next day as well, no comment. And I was like, oh, why should they comment? Some random person sitting in one corner of the world asking a question. Yeah, I should actually not expect them to respond. Then a couple of days later, I saw a ping from you like, hi, are you the person who had asked the question on the YouTube? It's like, yes, Sriram, yes, that was me. And you asked me to connect on WhatsApp. So I did connect on WhatsApp and you clearly explained. But then I had further questions on it. And this time you sent a voice message. Like you were, the analogy was really good, the kind of a very a day-to-day kind of a scenario, and that really stuck with me because it was so clear. It was like, oh, next time I'm doing any certification, it is going to be ShriLearning. So that was the thing that I made at that point in time. And even at that point, Sriram, I was like, oh, let me go with ShriLearning for PMP. No, that was not my thought. My thought was I will do PMP on my own, but any further certifications, that time I'll go with ShriLearning. Oh, yeah. Then it was like this. Months were just rolling by, absolutely no progress on the PMP side. And I think it was in the July, I saw June, like Rahul had posted that new batch is opening up or coming up in June. I was looking at it, no decision made. I just let it go. Then July, there was a ACP session. So for me, it was on a Friday night, and I listened to the ACP. I have no plans to do ACP, but whatsoever, I sat through the entire session. Then I really liked it. I went to bed, and the next day morning, which was Saturday morning, it was like 8 a.m. I woke up only like 8 a.m. Suddenly, I thought to myself, enough is enough. Let me go ahead and join ShriLearning. And I called up Rahul. Rahul is like, the first day session is going to end. I said, never mind. I'll just go ahead and join. And then he was telling me the amount. And I was writing down the amount and I was like waiting for Rahul to tell me that there is an extra zero at the end. No, I was like, really? This amount? And I was waiting this long for such an amount. I was like so cross with myself. Like, oh, I should have really gone ahead with this long time back whatsoever. But I really enjoyed your session, Sriram. Like, it was not typical PowerPoint presentation. There's so many videos and all those top 10 projects in China or something. The very music will get me very motivated. I was like that kind of a person. And then like a few classes into the July batch, my dad passed away. So that was a real shock to me because he passed away due to cardiac arrest. And until the previous night, I had spoken to him. It was a severe blow to me on the emotional side. So then I pinged Rahul, I pinged you saying that I'll not be able to continue in this batch. And Rahul said, it's fine, man, you just go ahead. And whenever you come, let's then talk. So I was out for a month. I had been to India and I was glad I was able to make it and be with my family during the most crucial time. And then I got back to the US mid-September. Generally, I have 1 week of jet lag, but this time, for whatsoever reason, I had 2 weeks of jet lag. So by the time I recovered, I really wanted something that will not give me any time to think about any other thing. I wanted it like that because if I had little bit time, I'm going to surely drown in sorrow because I was in that state of mind. So I called up Rahul, and Rahul told me, oh, the October batch is starting, October 2nd. Would you like to join? I said, okay, fine, I'm going in for it. And the moment the batch started, I was very sincere with my studies, Sriram. And after I posted this on LinkedIn, many people were asking me, so how many hours did you study? I'm not a person who will go by hours and very strict schedule, but whenever I got time, whenever I'm not tired, I studied. Like even if it's like 5 minutes, even it's like 10 minutes. I had the agile practice guide always in my car. So even if I'm going for a dental appointment or a doctor appointment, or I take my son to the soccer practice, a soccer match, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'll start reading. So it was like that. And whenever I'm feeling like little tired, then I had the ShriLearning questions, the 10 questions, the practice questions. I will start doing that. And after the 10 questions, I'll become fresh again. So it was like that, kind of reading and with those questions. And one specific thing which I wanted to talk was regarding the study group. We had a study group in the October batch, like few of us. I definitely will have to give credit to Edwin to create that. So it was Edwin, myself, Path, we had Rajan, Hema, Rashmi, Kalpana, Deepika. So they were always questions. So by the time I finish reading, like it was a night, it'll be like India daytime. These guys will be fresh. They'll ask too many questions. Then with that, the sleep will go. So reading with all this, I would say it was a perfect combo. And by the time I finished Rita and I had shared my scores with you, you were telling me, oh, your scores are all in the top range.
Yeah, I remember it. Good. That's a good narration. A lot of things, and a lot of ups and downs. I know that as you went back to India and again come back, it's a good lot of what is it, mind change, emotional stuff. Many people feel that why should I read further? Let me drop it here. So I think you took an effort to come back again. You have to appreciate that. And again, I want to appreciate the team what you formed. Rajan used to ping me, and the way you people discuss questions, even the PMI Institute would not discuss. So
Absolutely.
you guys go to the depth of what can mean management 4,500 years back. So good thing. I really like the way you prepared, but always there is a fear with you. Is this fine? Is this score enough to go for? Right, you score really well.
Sure. So when I first share my scores, you're saying, please go ahead with the mocks. So I did ShriLearning mocks. The first one I got 79. The second one I got 91. Third one I got 80. And then you told me, okay, then now you can go ahead with study hall. Then I think I delayed it by 2-3 days. And I tried buying that. And that's when it went unavailable. I was like, okay, it is going to be available mid of November. I might as well wait. Um, while I'm waiting, why not I try out some Udemy mocks because there was all these sale going on. Each one was for $9.99. So it was, I would say throwaway money, not very expensive. So I started trying out Trader Brian, Udemy, then Nilot Palre, Amar Ali, all this I had done. And after that, again, study hall, no sign of coming up. Said, okay, fine. Now let me try different simulator. I went with TIA simulator and I did that as well. Then after that is when the message popped up saying that until the end of the year, it is not going to be available. And this time I was like, okay, the main reason that I wanted study hall was for the PMI language. Like you always mentioned, the language is really good. So I was like, which will be the closest? okay, let me go in for prepcast. So I've gone, went ahead, got prepcast as well. So I was like discussing with all these guys, should I go and get this prepcast? They was like, no, not required. But I was like, if I fail, then it is like $250 for the next attempt. Prepcast is $150. So this is a better deal. So I will go with that. So that's how I got prepcast. Then I did two prep casts and I shared the scores. The first one 75, the second one 80. Then after that, you told you can go ahead. You can actually take the exam the very next day. That's what you told me. Go ahead and take. Then I was like, okay, let me look at any availability in the center. And that is when I was in for a shock because we have three centers in the 25-mile radius and another center in the 40-mile radius. So like it is four centers and not even a single availability, Sriram, not a single availability. I was like, this is like we are nearing the holiday season. So I was assuming not many people will be studying. I was grossly wrong, not a single slot available. And the way that I have been approaching the ShriLearning mocks, I used to sit in my office and take the mocks, which is very close to the kitchen and pantry. My husband stirs tea, that a spoon clicking sound, then no, I feel very distracted. And on either side of our house, our neighbors have dogs that barks, that's a problem. Any car that is zooming past, that is a problem. All this I decided that I'm not going to go for proctor based. I'll definitely go for center based. So that was my choice. Looking, then I suddenly remembered Raghavendra Dasadi's success story, where he was saying you just need to keep looking, and when something shows up, immediately go for it. So one fine day I just opened. It was like 3-4 days before my exam. Um, Okay, this is like a good date. And I just went ahead and booked. And that was a good thing that I did. So I booked my exam for December 8th. My original plan was December 7th. That was the date I had in mind. So this was like close by. But by all means, I wanted to get it done by December 9th because December 9th is when my elder son, he arrives from college. He's in the third year of college and he'll land here. And after that, my focus will be on cooking more, so less on PMP. So by all means, December 9th was the D-date that I had in mind. And December 8th, December 1st, I spoke with you, Sriram, and you were like, okay, go for it and all that. I have no idea. After I spoke to you sometime later, I ended up spraining my neck. I do not know what I tried to accomplish, but it was a really very bad sprain. I could not lift like this side, this. It was just this position. So with that, doing office work, homework, and then I had to drive on the freeway to drop my son. It was so difficult. I was like, why this is happening at this time? Just one more like week to go. The next day I was hoping things will get better. Not at all. I had to go to the doctor, get injection done. So that whole day went. And in between, my husband had to undergo a surgery. And that surgery, the doctor had given a date of December 3rd. I was like, no, can we push this? But the surgeon's availability was only that date, after which the surgeon was going on vacation. So December 3rd was his surgery. So December 3rd, fully, I ended up spending in the hospital and running around for his medicines and stuff like that. The next day, December 4th, when I woke up, I was feeling terrible, totally sick. And it was like to that thing, like instead of me taking care of my husband had to take care of me. I was feeling really very bad. Why are all these things happening? And that's the day I just randomly checked and I booked the exam date also. I was like, will I be okay by December 8th? I was like hoping, if I go to the doctor, it should be okay. So December 4th, just nothing, Sriram. I have not studied a single word, from the day I sprained my neck. For some reason, I have just not been able to study a single thing. And then with the surgery, and then I fell sick. Then the next day, the December 5th, which was on a Sunday, again, same story. I'm not able to get out of the bed at all. But later part of the day, I felt okay, little bit better. And so what I did, I took the prepcast third mock. And that was a very bad decision on my part, because if I felt a little better, I should have just taken rest. But I was like forcing myself to do. I was after like 90 questions or so, I really couldn't, but I forced myself. And after I finished prepcast, the third one, I went to bed. And the next day, horrible, just not able to do anything. Now, this time I had to go to the hospital. Yeah, and it was difficult to get an appointment, and finally managed to get an appointment in the afternoon. I went there and the doctor listened patiently, and then he was telling me, I suspect you are having a heart attack. So we'll have to get EKG done. We'll have to get your blood work done. I'm like, my God, what is this? I came for a problem, and this is a return gift, like a bigger return gift of telling that I'm having a heart attack. So I said, please, I have something coming up. So I can do the blood work later. But they said, no, you have to get the EKG done immediately. So yeah, all I was lying down, wires all around me and all those beeps. I was like 1.5 days more to go for PMP, and look at me with all wires. Like at that time, Sriram, I just lost hope, because right from December 1st, I have not touched the books. So something here. So after that, I waited, I got the results. Luckily, nothing of that kind, because what the doctor was fearing is whatever symptoms that I have been telling, that is kind of the symptom that people who are having heart attack also have, but they generally are ignorant. They do not know. So finally, they let me go home.
You should have said him it's not a heart attack, it's a PMP attack. So yeah.
No, Sriram, definitely I was not to that level of getting a heart attack, but but when
I
he
know
told
a
me,
lot of things at family happening, you're up and down, could have been stress. Mm.
there's something, then finally I just got back home and I was lying down, and I was telling my husband, can you please go get medicines for me? He himself was recovering from a surgery, and fully he was helping me out. So gone. The next day is the one and only day I have for the exam before December 8th. Where I was able to do, no. It was like, but the doctor told me for these medicines to actually see effect, it will take 4 days. So I called you up, Sriram, totally out. I have no hope that I'm going to clear this exam, leave alone, like I've not studied. First of all, I cannot sit for 4 hours. I'm like not in a physical condition to do that. So taking medicines, lying down, absolutely not even hearing PMP videos, Sriram, that bad situation. What the, yes, that day went off, and it was like 11:30 when I hit the bed that day. And I kept alarm at 5 a.m. 8 a.m. was my uh, exam. And so I kept it 5 a.m. I woke up at 3 a.m., like I really couldn't sleep beyond that, tossing this side, tossing that side. So until the previous day, my problem was like throwing up, throwing up. But this time when I woke up, severe tummy ache, Sriram. I'm like, what all is happening to me now? Then after some time, I had to take some medicine to get this. All I had was just few nuts, because I cannot have on an empty stomach. And then this medicine. My husband also woke up and he was like preparing everything for me, Sriram. Blueberry separate pack, strawberry separate pack, apples, persimmons, oats, like when I was stepping out of the house, it looked as if I'm going for a picnic.
Yeah, you have a
So
bunch of
many
bag with
things.
you.
Yeah, so what, and that time, like during that time frame, that December 8th time frame, we had in Northern California the fog advisory. The visibility was very low. So I had arranged for someone to drive me to the center. When I reached the center, it was like 7:15, and the center opens like only at 7:30. So I was like outside the building, so cold. And then there was one person who was waiting there, and I was thinking, okay, this person most probably must be taking PMP. Then he came and spoke to me. Are you planning to take some nursing exam? I said, no, no, I have come for PMP. And we were just chatting, and he was like telling about his exam. And I was like, for us, at least preparation is okay. Staying and sitting in one place and doing the 4-hour exam is a real challenge. And he's like, 4 hours is a lot, yeah, but my exam is for 5 hours and there is no break. I'm like, oh God, thank heavens, I'm a bit better. After that, yeah, the center opened and it was a very smooth process, Sriram. And the person in the front desk, they clearly explained, and I had asked several questions. But by that time, my tummy ache had kind of subsided, and I was like hoping this continues. Um, After all those initial process, I was given my desk, which was like right beneath the clock, and the sound of that seconds clock ticking, that was very distracting for me. So I had the noise cancellation headset. After that, it was like, okay, Sriram, but then because I'm a person who never skips breakfast, so hungry, so hungry. My tummy was literally growling. I can hear the tummy growling. But somehow I managed to do the first 60 questions. It took like 80 minutes. And I was like eager to go out and eat something. The best part that I was looking forward for the exams was to eat chocolates, Sriram. But this doctor told me strictly no chocolates. You cannot have chocolate. So for the 10 minutes break, because I was so hungry, I just had a handful of blueberries and I was feeling good. Oh, nice. And I got back and I started. Like 10 questions would have passed, Sriram, and I really wanted to throw up now. Oh, I was like struggling because if I have to go now, I have to like lose out on the minutes because it is not the stipulated break window. I was waiting, and after that, it was such a struggle because I was like, um, what do you say, struggling to keep my mouth shut, and I was feeling like coughing. So I was focusing more on myself than on the questions. It was total struggle, not well, and then trying to read, making a sense of it. So the first set of questions, um, like I had heard many people in success stories saying that one section was tough, the others were moderate or simple. For me, it was never like that. Right from the first question, it was a mix. Each and
because
every set was,
because
sorry,
in
Shriram, I'm not
practice,
able to hear you.
maybe I'm in mute. Let me see. Hope it's audible now.
Yes, it is.
No, because in the practice exam itself, you used to score 80, 91%. For this person, any exam will be now a moderate exam. So,
Nothing of that kind. So it was like a mix, I would say. They were two-liners, they were five-liners, and they were like very close options. But I was thinking, okay, must be the next section will be hard, but it was not. It was not hard per se. It was a mix. I would say we had absolutely no calculations and no MBTI questions or no ITTO based or related questions. Everything was situational, more on the agile and the hybrid, and very, very less of predictive. But the whole struggle was with me, like somehow trying to pull until the next 120 questions. At one point in time, because I was struggling so much, my eyes started tearing up. There's so many, so much of tears flowing from my eyes, but somehow I clicked the 120th question done. And never I had the practice of marking something for review, Sriram, because during my mocks, I used to mark here and there questions for review. But by the time I finished the 180 questions, I'm like already done. I always had the feeling that when I'm looking the question the second time, I will certainly not be able to think better than what I did the first time. So that was pretty much it. So absolutely no markings, anything for review. 120 question. I have no idea how many minutes I took, but when I finished 120, I rushed out. I had to really throw up everything. And when I got back, all I had was just a sip of water. That was pretty much it to start the third set. And third set again, all this, like it was a mix of everything, Shriram. And predominantly, I would say it was the stakeholder resources and communication. Either it was a masala of a stakeholder and a communication with the topping of the other one. It was something mix and match, mix and match, mix and match. I would say hardly 3 questions in quality or 3 questions in risk and 3 questions in procurement. That was pretty much it. Otherwise, it was pretty much this same combo over and over again. And now, because I had thrown up, I was feeling totally exhausted. I really want to go home. But when I started, I was like, God, will I really sit through these 4 hours? But somehow, like 1 more hour to go, I was like, I just wanted to manage, get this done. Because when I spoke to you, Sriram, the previous day, you were saying, if you are able to sit through 4 hours, you will for sure clear this exam. So I was like having that in mind, somehow pull this 1 hour. It was a total struggle, Shriram. Body is totally not cooperating, and I'm like struggling to focus, understand. And certain questions were like, oh, so close, so close. I was struggling to find out which is the right option. But there was not a single question, I would say, that was a total bummer or something that went 50,000 feet above my head. There was not a single question that way. They were like closed options, and I do not know which one of it was right. But whatsoever, I was like so exhausted. I just wanted to go home and lie down. I was in that situation. When I saw I had finished all the questions, I had 20 more minutes to spare. Should I finish? Should I just go ahead, hit the button? I was like not mentally prepared to see what I'm going to, whether it will be a pass or a fail. But then I prayed God. I prayed to my father. Then I said, like, God, I have done enough. I know I've really put in so much effort. And after this, if I fail, that is okay. My one and only worry was what will I tell my boys? Because I always advise them, you study, you have to study hard. And then, oh, look at mom, she herself failed. I was like a little bit jittery about only that part.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I ended the exam, and when that congratulations message came, it was such a huge mental baggage that was lifted off. And that's when I told you I kept reading. 5 minutes, same screen. And
the next the next exam candidate would have come there. Ma'am, I have tried exam, please.
yeah, but it was really no words to explain.
I know it's not only you, Saigeetha. I know, like the full narration, what you said here. I've seen people, they feel that mental stress getting relieved the moment they see the result. You feel, oh man, it's over. It's not about, see, PMP clearing is not so tough. You can clear it. But the preparation time, what you have to give is so tough. At the age of 30 and 40, when you have too many things around you, PMP becomes a second thing, right? You can't give full focus. But the exam won't think you as a second thing. The exam will be pretty tougher to the level where you have to prepare. So that's good. Nice to know. I'm sure it's an emotional moment when you got the paper in your hand that you got certified and cleared.
Right. And after that, I finished the survey. Then I went to the front desk, and the person in the front desk, by the time I think the shift was over, there was another person there. So he asked me, what's your name? So I told my name is Saigeetha Murugan. And he looked at it. Oh, I don't think this one is yours. I'm like, God, what more do I need to endure to get that PMP behind my name? He's like telling with all seriousness. My face became like this, and he was like, no, I was just kidding. And then he and then he handed me this paper. Oh, all about targets. I was so happy. I was not expecting, it is not like, I just wanted to get this cleared, and I was in that kind of a mindset, Sriram.
Great, great. I think that evening you should have slept well. I believe that relief you would have felt it post this exam.
Uh, and after that, again, 2 days I was not well, but, the greater part of it was gone. So I recovered after 2 days. And after that, I've been keeping well. That 1 week, I have no idea what happened to me. Marathon sickness. But it was a sick family, Srina. Husband sick, wife sick. My son had my youngest son had his finals. He had his soccer games. It was just too much. I was like, what is happening? Very tough time
Tough time,
emotionally.
tough time. Good, good. You came all through, and now you have a certificate. I think that gives a motivation. That's really good. Great, superb. Nice to hear the full whole incidents, what all happened, and you are so good to share all. I appreciate it. So now, if somebody is having the thought process, can I go for exam? So, what is your tips to them? What do you want to tell to them?
I'm not going to say something different, Shirama. I'll definitely quote you. You will have to jump at some point. What point you will have to decide. So I will say trust the process because ShriLearning, you have seen like hundreds of PMPs. So you have outlined the process. And if we follow the process, I'm sure anybody can clear it. You had asked us to read Rita. I had read Kim Hellman and then to go over those practice questions. And once you're all done, going for the full marks, 5 marks is more than sufficient, Sriram. I was like kind of over preparing, I would say, in the name of waiting for study hall, I was like keeping my head. I thought I'll better over prepare than under prepare. So I was doing all that. But like you were saying, 5 marks is more than sufficient. And what actually matters is understanding your answer. So many times I have committed silly mistakes. So first, how I went about was to understand why is that particular option correct, and next, why were the other three options wrong. So I had analyzed this for each and every question. So if we can do this for the 5 marks, we should be all good, ready
Perfect.
to jump.
Perfect. I like that motivational words. Super good. First, thanks a lot for coming up here and giving this wonderful motivational story. Because listening to this, many will understand it's not easy for everyone. For now, everyone, it's not a straight line. For some of them, it's straight. Sometimes it's up, down, up, down, up, down, right? And that too, things happen in your family. You came back again. Last 1 week, I'm not sure how many of us would have taken that call to go for the exam. We will find an opportunity to cancel it. We'll say, yeah, I'm not well. Let's postpone it or cancel it, right? So I think that's a good thing.
So I remember you saying, Sriram, like the last 1 week, the acceleration would be very high. For me, not at all. Somewhere in November, and I was discussing something with Rajan, and at that time he told me, I think you are ready for the exam. You should take it. I told him, no, no, I want to study well for 1 week and then take the exam. That was enough. That's why I had this December 7th in mind. But
It didn't happen.
last, absolutely, I have not touched books, Sriram.
I
Not at
understand.
all.
It's something like this. In a cricket match, what will happen is some teams, like India, sometime they score 300 runs in first 30 overs. So next 20 overs, we'll expect them to score another 200 or 150 runs, but they score only 70 runs because rest coming wickets will start falling down. But the first 300 would have helped them. Something like that happened for you. The initial pickup, you did a good workout, and even the last 1 week you couldn't do. Still, your brain has all the data, and you're able to crack it.
Absolutely true, Sriram. And I remember you saying multiple times, like PMI judges you correctly. So when I got back home, I logged in to see my score. It was like the above target has a band. Mine was like the top end. I was like, wow, like whatever Sriram saying is perfect. PMI actually gauges you pretty well.
Perfect, perfect. So now you're top 2% and top percent in the market. Now let's go apply this in the job. and I'm sure you will outshine the market.
Thank you, Sriram. Thank you so very much. And thank you for the motivation. And especially during the last, I was like, Sriram, I'm going to fail. I don't think no, I felt I was better prepared during the mocks than the final exam. And you were like, no, this happens. So you just ensure that you are able to sit through for 4 hours. If you can do that, you will certainly crack it. But that day when I woke up, I was like 1.5 hours or 2 hours. And when I was leaving the house, my husband was telling me, try, if you're not able to, come back home. I was not in that position where I can stretch for 4 hours. It was a real tough situation for me to somehow sit and get through those 4 hours.
Great, good job. Really, really a motivation to all. So viewers, I'm sure you all enjoyed listening to her whole journey. Definitely had us a lot of good and hard things. Good takeaway here is don't give up. That's the one thing. Other thing is preparation should be very strong. She did a habit of analyzing the questions of why this question answer is right, why other three are wrong. I think that could have given a good proper basement. So when you go to real exams, these all basement will help you. Simulator wise, she's given a good amount of simulators, but again, as she rightly said, 5 exams is sufficient. More than that will be little overload sometime. So this is sufficient. But for her, she has to go through multiple because of certain needs. If not, her story is a good inspiration. Let's give likes and comments to her and wishes to her. Once again, good wishes, Saigeetha, for this wonderful achievement. Like to see more in your career. Good wishes.
Thank you, Sriram. Thanks much to you, to Rahul, and to the entire ShriLearning crew. This would have not been possible without you guys.
I know it's also we are putting effort, but beyond that, there is something which you have to do. Like you wake up in the morning and go for it. It doesn't happen so easily. So you made it happen. So if you're happy, proud for yourself, and you have to give credit to your family. Your family is behind you.
Certainly, Sriram. Definitely. It was a mutual. Like I had to help him and he had to help me. Like it was like that.
Perfect. Good. Good wishes. Keep rocking. All the best. We'll catch you soon. Another beautiful story from you. Okay.
Sure. Thank you,
Sure.
Sriram.
Bye. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Subscribe to ShriLearning YouTube channel. Don't forget to press the bell icon. Now always remain updated on more interesting topics on project management and agile.